Hello and welcome back to yet another exciting episode of the Movie Hoppers. And if you want Movie Hopper shirts for whatever reason, text at hopshirt to 81010, stuff in the description. But most of you don't care about that. Well, I just like to start off with remembering something. Not someone, something. A movie. It died. That movie is called The Fields With No GF. It's dead. It's worth this movie. This movie does everything that movie wanted to do, except better and
Yeah, completely blew it
more.
out of the water.
Yeah, it's like I remember we were talking about with the Fields With No GF video. We're like, oh yeah, well this is good. Maybe our ratings will go lower. When in the distant future when somebody else tries a crack at this concept and doesn't. Now this movie could not have possibly even seen The Fields With No GF, and it did a better version of The Fields With No GF. What we're talking about today is the Pepe movie. um Feels Good Man. Yes, this came out the same year as the Wojak movie. I do not understand how that's possible, but
There's
um
just such a demand for meme documentaries,
I
you
guess
know?
so, because even Spree had a kind of similar, at least in the ending, had a similar message as these movies. I mean, this stuff kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know why it's so many of them are being made, but uh, Feels Good Man is about the creator of Pepe, but also Pepe the meme, and by extension the internet. And it's definitely a wow. Feels Good Man was more up to interpretation. This is definitely a more black and white documentary. um but I feel like that kind of helps it feel more focused and more meaningful. This is definitely focused on one thing, while the Fields with No GF was more focused on a bunch of things. But uh, whatever. I'm kind of scattered right now because it. I'll talk about it later. What do you think of this movie?
Um, you know, as I was watching it, I'm like, I really don't know what to talk about
Really?
for this movie. Like, it's just, it's like, it said everything it needed to say, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you almost can't make commentary on it. Like, oh yeah, it's like, yeah, it's good, you know? Um, like, it's like everything makes sense. It's like, yeah, like, I don't know. What
yeah. I
do you
mean,
think about it?
uh, I definitely think it's good. Um, Again, it's better than the Fields with no GF, but they're different, kind of. But it's weird. Um, I really like the animation in this movie. It's like a bunch of Adult Swim bumpers, basically.
Yeah,
Um, a lot more animation um in this one, which was my favorite part. Well, one of my favorite parts of the Fields no, when no GF was the animation, and this movie just does it better.
it's
Just
like it like kind of pieces the points together and
mhm.
like feels good when no G like feels wait feels when no G um kind of like had the animations in it as just having animations
Mhm.
like but it was like almost trying to support their point but like
Yeah.
it didn't make it completely but this was like almost like ingrained into what they were talking about and like it moved forward as they were talking like with different points and stuff. So I'm like it's like it that they definitely did it better.
Yeah, and it was really fluid. Um, I like the animation just in general. Uh, I know this is an indie documentary. I don't know how much that costs, but they definitely put in the hours there. It's obviously. Have you seen a Pepe meme before?
Yes.
I have seen quite a bit. I have trained my Instagram account to only give me memes in my explore page. So I do see a bit of Pepe memes. A lot of it is kind of used ironically now, like, to make fun of that kind of culture, especially the smug Pepe meme. It's kind of meant to make fun of people, but um, this really put, I guess, a lot of things into perspective. This is kind of almost the anti the Fields When No GF in terms of its message. I guess we won't have a spoiler talk because it's a fucking documentary. If you want to watch it, I recommend it. I bet you recommend it. Um,
Yeah.
so there we go. Watch the movie. But if you don't want to watch it, you just want to know what it's about. Um, Fields with No GF was kind of about how all this 4chan stuff is like okay and whatever, just let them have their fun. And this movie is kind of the exact opposite of that. It's like, no, this 4chan stuff is dangerous and it sucks. And look at this guy, he kind of got fucked over. Look at this collateral damage, see how bad 4chan is, that kind of thing. Um, so I thought that was an interesting take. I feel like you can still watch The Feels When No GF after watching this movie because of that, because it's such a different take on the culture. But in terms of presentation and in terms of production value, this movie makes The Feels When No GF completely obsolete. It makes it look like a YouTube video in comparison. Um, it just This movie had just so much more time, and I don't know about time. You never know with documentaries, but effort and care. And this guy was obviously talented, the director. So I, I mean, could you go back to watching The Fields When No GF in any aspect after watching this?
I mean, I don't know why I would watch it again, but um I mean, I guess I could like just to like compare it, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. But like I think what Feels When No GF really like stumbled with was like they didn't get the other perspective
Mm.
from it. Like they touched base on it like with like the newsreels and like media outlets and whatever, and like they were like, oh yeah, this is because like people don't really understand what's happening on 4chan with Warjack. It's like, oh, it's just weird. But then they only interviewed like people that were like involved with this. But for Feels Good Man, it was like they interviewed the creator and they interviewed the dude that was on 4chan when like this was like really popular, and then they interviewed like the lawyers and the news people, and it was way more in depth than No GF went into, and like yeah, I think it definitely like helped his case
Yeah,
making this documentary.
yeah. I guess that goes back to my comment about how the other one. I mean, when it comes to death, this makes The Fields When No GF look like a puddle, and this is like an ocean. You know, it just it's definitely more in depth, for I guess lack of a better term. One disappointment, I was waiting for the Alex Jones interview that never came. Um, Man, I wish I could see this in the theaters with like you and like my friends and stuff. That would have been fucking wild. But um yeah, I definitely it's uh yeah, I agree with everything you said. This movie definitely has I I kind of feel like and maybe it's because the Feels No GF just did not introduce the other point at all. I'm at the other side. This movie I feel like kind of has a little more of a slant. Like while the Feels with No GF is like, okay, well here's this. Decide if it's good or bad. I feel like this movie kind of held your hand a bit, and it was like, okay, here's this opinion and this opinion, but this is the opinion that's good, and this is the one that's bad. Um,
Yeah.
and I guess that goes back to the whole focus thing because when you're making a documentary about the internet, you have a lot of fucking ground to cover. And especially with something like Pepe, you're going to have a lot of ground to cover and you're going to have a lot of people watching who probably don't know what you're talking about at all. So you have to over explain it. And I kind of feel like the documentary Holding Your Hand is kind of the way to go just because it's so complicated. There's going to be so many people who are coming in completely fresh, don't know anything you're talking about, and just so much stuff. You kind of have to be guided through. I think that's why the Fields Were No GF felt kind of slow at times, was because it was just throwing everything at you with no rhyme and reason, or reason, I mean. And this movie has rhyme or reason. So I do I do enjoy that aspect. Again, I feel like you can still watch The Fields with No GF after you watch this movie, just because it's kind of a different slant, I guess, different perspective of sorts. But if you have to pick one, this is definitely the one to watch. It's the better movie when it comes to, forget the message, forget politics, forget all that. When it comes to the movie, this the Fields with No GF is not even competing anymore. This just trumps it. Um, yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to review documentaries though. Like,
Yeah.
they just, I,
It's like it's a thing.
yeah, it
People
exists.
know about it already.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was a bad movie because it would have been very easy to review if it was a bad movie.
Yeah.
Um, but it's despite me kind of I don't know, kind of growing up in the latter half of the events of this movie. Um, it, despite me knowing a lot about this stuff, and it did get a few things wrong, just like from a factual point of view. But
Like what?
I think they said the Great Meme War was about like how I don't know who said this, but somebody like got the Great Meme War wrong. That was about when CNN doxed a kid for posting an anti CNN meme, and they said, "Oh, the Great Meme War, that was about getting Trump elected," which wasn't true. I think that could be like an offshoot of the Great Meme War, but the Great Meme War was about a big corporation doxing a kid for making a meme. Um,
Yeah.
so they got that wrong, and I don't know, maybe a sprinkling of things throughout. I didn't notice anything else. That was the big thing, but I did learn a lot of new things. Like I didn't even know Pepe was a part of a comic. Um,
You didn't?
no, did you?
Yeah.
The
I
comic
mean,
kind
like it kind of like brought back like that memory because I'm like, it's like a passing thing. I'm like, it's a comic of cool. But then it's yeah, oh yeah, it's a comic.
yeah, the comic looks kind of cool, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
and then like the children's book, like it would look so nice.
yeah,
Like I almost want to get it.
this poor guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I think like what definitely helped out this movie was like having the creator as like the like main like
mhm.
influence for this because it's like you have a reference point. Like with no GF, it's like it was just a thing that
Yeah,
was made, and there's like no real starting point. It was just there's a thing, and then it's like, oh, this is cool. But like with this, it's like, oh, like this dude's making stuff, and he's like he his message got completely twisted, and it's like it sucks.
yeah. I mean, this is basically any creator's worst nightmare. I
Yeah.
I mean, he got a lot of publicity because of it, and I feel like it kind of helped his career probably. But I mean, I don't really think he doesn't seem like the type of guy who's like, oh yeah, I can't wait to make $1 million off this thing, So that kind of
Yeah.
sucks. What I really like too is that all of the animated segments are an animated version of the comic, which
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. It felt like if you splice all of these things together, it feels like a pilot of a TV show, and I thought that was a really interesting and unique approach. And even when they weren't talking about the comic, um, they talked about things other than the creator. Even when they weren't talking about that kind of stuff, those animated segments kind of pulled you back in and kind of gave you perspective. Like, yeah, we're talking about neo Nazis and shit, but like, remember this all came from a comic. This all just came from one panel of a comic, and it was like, wow, that's fucking crazy. Just how
Yeah.
everything spiraled. Um, if that made any sense at all. Makes sense in my head, but um, this guy kind of looks and sounds like Toby from The Office. I mean, does he?
I guess. Yeah, sure. Sure.
He also does look like Pepe. They made a comment about that. He looks like Pepe. Um, I think the only glaring flaw, not glaring flaw, the only part of this movie I didn't like was the real Pepe part, because that was like a 10-minute segment completely disconnected from everything else in the movie. And it's like, I felt like I was a second grader and somebody was trying to explain like college level calculus to me in like 10 minutes. It was like, what the fuck? A cryptocurrency? Rare pet? What the fuck?
Yeah.
75,000? What the hell is this?
That was such like a weird thing because I'm like, it just suddenly like cut to a Lamborghini ran like racing down the road. I'm like, what? What is this?
I,
I
I,
don't know. It was, so it didn't need to be. I mean, I guess they wanted to like make it like I don't know. Since they were like touching base on like every part of Pepe,
mhm.
then it was like, oh, we got at least we got to at least mention this,
Yeah.
you know,
I
because
mean,
it's like still like a part of it, but
yeah.
less so than like the anti like the white supremacist stuff,
Yeah.
But it's still like a thing.
It's definitely interesting. But it's so disconnected from the rest of the movie, and it's done so quickly that
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck just happened? But especially for a movie that kind of guides you through its narrative, um, this part, it just kind of throws you in and takes you out, and it was like, that was fun. Next thing, um, it
yeah, and he was like just flexing on us like the whole time,
yeah, the
like,
the
oh yeah,
Homer Simpson
I'm a
Pepe.
billionaire. I'm a billionaire now because of Pepe. Like, okay, so what, dude?
Yeah, and the other guy, he like bought a boat, and that was his big thing, like the small boat that he lives out of. And this guy had like a fucking Lamborghini, and it's like, I, whatever, man. Um, I liked when everybody called him PP. That was kind of funny. Um, and this an interesting, I guess, take on meme culture in general. Um, about like, normies and shit. I don't know. I don't think I would consider this a normie movie. Um, I didn't consider The Feel When No GF a normie movie. This movie definitely understands meme culture. Um, there's some things I agree. There's some things I disagree with. Um, but I think overall, yeah, even the things I disagreed with, it's like, I understand you. I just have a different set of experience, a different set of facts, a different set of, whatever. But this definitely made me look at Pepe in a different light. Um, I don't know if I'll be able to look at a Pepe meme again without thinking about this and thinking about the context of it all. Because it kind of is crazy how, like, a bunch of fucking 4chaners got the attention of Donald Trump. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, credit where credit's due. They did make the meme real, which was kind of their um, end goal. So now the whole world's a meme. So I guess 4chan wins this time. But it's definitely definitely a really good movie. But I think that you in particular have been a little too positive. The only negative you brought up was one that I brought up. So I think I'm gonna have to put you in the corner of negativity.
Wow.
Yeah, for the second
We've been
time
here
ever.
before. All right. Let's see. Let's see here. Um, I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like it's decent, like all around.
Mhm.
Like I can't find something other
Wow.
than what you said. The the segment. Um,
We have a 10 out of 10 locked in. Okay.
I
The perfect
don't know,
movie.
10 out of 10, but like, it's decent, but like it's not like crazy, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah. I could personally see myself watching it again. I I could see myself showing it to other people just because it, you know, puts a lot of things into perspective. I bet if we showed our parents this, they would probably be fucking blown away. Like this would be crazy for them.
I
For
don't think
us, it's like we kind of
like,
understood. Wait, what did you say?
I don't think my parents know what any of this is.
Exactly.
Anyway,
But
like I don't even know if they've even seen Pepe before.
maybe on the news because he did get a lot of news coverage.
I don't even think that, man.
But yeah, I mean, it definitely does put a meme that I personally enjoyed into perspective, which I thought was interesting. Again, Pepe nowadays, Pepe is kind of used for you know ironic purposes, like to make fun of the people who originally used Pepe, and there are some Pepe memes that aren't ironic and are just like used to convey an emotion, like about like video game news or something. And I think that's fine. That's innocent enough. I guess it's all about the context of the Pepe, and I don't think Pepe as a meme is all bad.
Yeah, like it's definitely like coming back around.
Hmm.
It's not it's not really a white supremacist symbol anymore.
Yeah, especially I think I don't know if they're gonna take it off the hate list because I mean Hong Kong used that for their pro democracy movement, and I don't know if many people in Hong Kong are white supremacists. So just just so complicated. This just proves how fucking complicated the world is. That even a cartoon frog is just so like you have to like think twice before. Wait a second, should I share the same age or are people gonna think I'm a Nazi? You know, it's it's
Right.
crazy. And again, this poor guy just wants to make people laugh and wants to sell shit. I would have bought one of those fucking Pepe shirts. I really wanted that.
Yeah.
They looked
It's got,
really.
that sucks though. Like
I know.
$45,000 in the hole,
Hmm.
like because some assholes on the internet made it into an alt-right symbol. Like
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah. I wish. Um, I wasn't as versed in the white supremacist side of Pepe. I kind of knew about it, but I thought that's just kind of niche. I guess it was kind of niche, but um, yeah, man. Like I would have totally bought a freaking Pepe shirt with like all those different drawings of Pepe on it. That would have been so fucking cool. I would have wore that. But I guess I never can. Damn. Um, I wanted to say something else, but I forgot. Um,
How it happens sometimes. Oh, so I was looking like through the comments below like the movie,
the movie
and it's
that we
like,
got on iTunes. iTunes now has comments. Anyway.
and like Prime Video definitely has comments.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So like uh it's like it just like filled with like a bunch of people who are like, white supremacy isn't real.
yeah.
It's from 2020.
Yeah.
Like there's no movement in the USA. There's the black supremacist movement, and I'm like calling it death for white people, and I'm like, oh my God, like y'all completely missed the entire message of this movie,
They probably didn't even
and it's
watch it, honestly.
probably not, but it's just so funny. It's like it's so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the depressing. Like this movie, despite how colorful it is and how funny it is, I don't think we mentioned how funny this movie is. Um, like, and I'm not talking about like the racist memes. I'm talking about like this like actual funny parts. Um, but like it kind of is depressing how like I said before, how complex everything is, and how like everything has two meanings, right? Like you can't just put something on the internet anymore without people, like some totally innocent like fucking 10-year-old could make a meme out of Pepe, like, oh man, when the teacher gives you homework and it's the sad Pepe, and like that 10-year-old is like completely oblivious to like how it's used by like Nazis and stuff, and that's just I don't know. I just kind of think that's kind of depressing, like how nothing is sacred. Nothing means what you think it means. It always means something else and five other things that you've never even considered. And I don't know. I think that's kind of not to be a bummer or anything, but uh, that's something that I took away from the movie. How complicated the world is now. But
Yeah,
you know,
but
but
they also said that it was important to look on the bright side.
it is. Yeah,
So
that is true. That is true. This guy definitely, despite his obviously limited understanding of the internet, um, he definitely tried to turn things around, and even when he was down and out, he definitely seemed to have a glimmer of hope in him. It's definitely that guy's just a beacon of positivity. I like
yeah,
him. Just poor guy. And I don't even think this movie really even the the viewer from using Pepe memes, or really any memes for that matter, even if they do have you know racist, sexist, homophobic origins or backgrounds. um I mean, I think the creator of this movie would want us to make Pepe memes that aren't racist, because that's kind of what the creator of the creator of Pepe wants,
yeah,
to kind of turn it around. So I guess this movie won't make you feel bad for liking Pepe, as long as you don't like the racist parts. If you just like Pepe memes, like because he's a funny frog and he reacts to silly shit, then this movie's not gonna hate you. It just hates racists, and you know that
that's
is
fair.
that's fair. Yeah, okay, I can get behind that. Uh, but yeah, this this movie just more than just Pepe, just kind of brings together all of like internet culture and just modern day culture and how just fucking whacked out it is and how crazy it is. And just how a bunch of losers in their bedrooms, can influence an election, and it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Um, you, I don't know. I think that's a good ending point. Do you have anything else to say?
Nah, that's good.
All right. Yeah. Wow. You want to go first with your number rating? I mean, you've obviously locked in that 10 out of 10. So.
Sure. All right. So, yes, it was a good documentary, but I don't know, I wouldn't say 10 out of 10 because it's like,
Mm,
I don't know, like it's because there's like not much to gauge from because it's a
yeah.
documentary. It's like just repeating history
Mm,
in a smaller form, you know? So it's like, I wouldn't consider it to be like, oh my God, this was like amazing. Like it's definitely good,
yeah.
but I don't know. So I guess like 8.5,
Eight and a
I guess.
half. All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I really enjoyed this movie. Um, Again, the feels were no GF. This is better, but you can still watch that one too. It's fine. Um, but this movie, it's funny. It's sad. It makes you rethink, everything you know about the internet. Teaches you a few things. There's obviously a slant, and I think sometimes that played into its depiction of certain events. But I think overall it was fair. The animation was good. This might be, for better or for worse, this might be my favorite movie of 2020 so far. Um,
I mean, that's pretty easy to do.
yeah, yeah, but I highly recommend this to anyone. Whether you like memes or not, this movie is good. It's a good time. I'm gonna give it a 9. Highly recommend. Despite the fact that we just explained the whole thing, watch it. Just watch it. Um, Words do not do it justice. Watch the movie. So
Yeah.
yeah. Next on the movie hoppers, a movie called Infidel came out this weekend. Uh, I might see it. There is a I forget the fucking group, some K-pop group. The popular one is releasing a movie next weekend that I might watch for, shits and giggles. There's a movie called Kajillionaire coming out that looks kind of good, and yeah, that we might review one of those movies or all of them. Who knows? Who knows? It's the movie hoppers. We just go with the flow. Oh yeah, and I'd like to give a special shout out. I was at a drive-in movie the other day, and I it's a two-screen drive-in movie, right? And one screen was playing 3 movies, the other one was playing 2 movies. So this absolute badass movie hopped a drive-in movie in the middle of our third movie. This guy just comes driving in from the other screen and just like watches the third movie. So I did not think it was possible to movie hop in a drive-in movie theater. This guy did it. Um, Fucking badass. Uh, so yeah, shout out to him. But besides that, thank you guys for watching and goodbye.